Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hello everyone, Craig here with another great business to discuss on this episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. Today's guest is Viet, and he is selling his Amazon FBA and Amazon FBM business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. So welcome to the show, Viet, and how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, and you? Nice to meet you. Got a really good voice.
Thank you. I've never had that compliment before, but I'll remember it. Great to meet you too. So yeah, and I'm looking forward to talking more about your business. But before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary. It's an Amazon FBA and Amazon FBM business in the apparel and accessories and occasions and gifts niches, created in February 2019. The average monthly revenue for the business is $153,727 and makes an average of $35,508 net profit each month. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 47592 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So now that I've given an overview of the business, let's have a look at what's included in the sale. So you have the Amazon Seller Central account with 5,693 SKUs, a domain, 2 trademarks, SOPs, supplier contracts and relationships, employee contracts, and it's important to note that inventory is not normally included in the list price, but further details can be provided to active buyers. Okay, now Viet, I would like to hear from you. Can you tell us a little about your background in building and running online businesses?
Okay, so my name is Viet. I was born in 88. I'm 32 years old. Actually, I graduated with a major in finance and accounting. But since I was a student, I was always interested by the internet in general and e-commerce in particular. So back then, when I was a student, I already made some side money by creating and selling a WordPress website with e-commerce extension for people who want to start their own e-commerce journey. That's how I started, and that's how I built up my interest and experience in the digital marketing sphere. Before, making my own company and doing my own business, starting my own business, I was working for Little Burnett, which is digital creative agencies who got quite big customer accounts such as Samsung, Unilever, P&G, you name it. I was working there for almost 4 years before leaving the digital marketing agencies and starting my own e-commerce journey. That's 4 years ago. I was starting to create my own Shopify store at first. And then last year, I was interested in expanding my e-commerce business into online marketplaces such as Amazon and ETSY. So that's when I really started to focus on the marketplace side of e-commerce and focus on investing my efforts into building my Amazon business. So that's it for my background.
Okay, yeah, that's quite a resume you have there, Viet. So I'm interested in how you transitioned from Shopify and e-commerce onto Amazon as a marketplace. What made you move in that direction?
In fact, after almost 2 years of operating and selling online with my Shopify store, I've had some observations of the market, and I think sooner or later, Amazon will, in particular, and others online marketplace should be the next destination for people, for buyers to go, because the younger generations nowadays, they are really mobile friendly, and I don't know how to say that, to put it in perspective. the consuming behavior of people is changing and more people are purchasing online. And Amazon and other online marketplace got a better confidence of consumers when it comes to buying online, because when you have a Shopify, it's very easy to build a Shopify store, but to earn the confidence and have a high conversion rate of buyers, it's not really easy, and it took some time to do that. But when you operate in well-known and verified marketplace such as Amazon, buyers are more willingly to spend the money for you. They trust the website, and considering the huge incoming inbound traffic of the marketplace, you could actually reach out to a bigger portions of potential buyers than running your own Shopify store. Differently speaking, when you have your Shopify store, you might be a little more free and independent, but you have to invest a lot more of money into advertising and paid marketing ads to, have inbound traffic to your website, to let people to know about your website and your products. It's push marketing. But when you operate in well-known online purchasing marketplace such as Amazon, your paid marketing will be a little bit less, if not much less, than your Shopify store marketing efforts. You have a lot when you identified a good product, a good niche to operate in. When you manage to spot the sweet point, the bullseye, the good products, you will have much higher conversion rate and return on investment when you sell on those marketplaces. That's why right now I'm focused 100% of my effort into Amazon.
Yeah, that makes total sense for
Yeah.
you. And I'm sure a lot of people would agree with you about
And one more thing I would like to add is the payment concerns when you run Shopify store. When you run your own Shopify store, this means that you're dealing with a third-party payment gateway. Right now, the most popular one, Stripe and PayPal, right? But still, those companies right now are dealing with a lot of issues of fraud. And honestly speaking, they are not big financial company, but they are just intermediaries to facilitate the payment between you and the bank and the buyers, the transaction. They are transaction facilitators. So they used to hold your funds for their reputations of holding your funds for a very long period of time. And there are a lot of complaints of sellers run into that problem. And as you know, for us sellers, cash flow is king. When you cannot manage your cash flow and you put your cash flow in danger, in jeopardy by dealing with those payment gateways, you put your business at risk. In Amazon, for sure, they are holding the seller's money also to ensure that we will fulfill the orders from buyers. But from my own experience and from what I learned in Amazon seller forums, they are not really, concerned about how reliable the payment and the transaction between Amazon and sellers conducted right now. Everything is quite clear and always smooth. In the past, I had a lot of problems and issues with PayPal. They have a lot of, holding decisions for my cash flow. I always had like 20% or 30% of my PayPal balance withheld in the balance, and it's frustrated me a lot. It really put my business at risk. So that's why I want to switch to Amazon in order to focus on the product development and forget about the rest.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with any of that. There's some very valid points. So I'm curious as to, you talked about your experience in development and in digital marketing. I was wondering how you applied those skills to this business, maybe development, but more the digital marketing, because I know you ran Amazon ads for this business as well.
Yes, for sure. Because, if you let's imagine that Amazon is a big supermarket, like a huge, huge supermarket, and you have your own store inside within that supermarket, and you have to run advertising to lure potential buyers to your store. And thanks to my digital marketing experience, I got a lot of experience in Facebook advertising, especially Google AdWords advertising. And there is a similarity between Google Ads and Amazon Ads because they are all based on keywords and search volume. It's pull marketing versus push marketing in Facebook. In Facebook, you actively create an ad and bring it to the front of your targeted audience. In Amazon, it's quite the opposite. We catch the demands of the potential buyers by identifying the search keywords within Amazon. You will do some analysis about search volume of that list of keywords for that particular niche and product. Then you take the whole analysis and will decide on the Amazon ad tactics on how you will create your campaigns and how you will run those campaigns with such specific keywords and with such bidding tactics. That's how my digital marketing experience helped me a lot in building my Amazon business. Because, for example, with a new buy, fresh people who doesn't have any knowledge or experience about running digital marketing ads, and they are not familiar with really technical terms of digital marketing such as search volume, target audience, or negative keywords. All of those terms will confuse them, and it will take a lot of time only to learn about the basic of it. Why me? I already had that experience, and I'm familiar with running digital marketing ads. So there is no any issues for me to run those ads and optimize them in order to bring great values to my Amazon business.
Yeah, because you see here you saw 15% profits from the ads, is that right?
Yes.
That's really good. So seems like you got the advertising down pretty well for this business, which is great news for a potential buyer. So taking a step back a bit, you mentioned why you got into e-commerce, why into Amazon. I'm wondering how come you chose this niche with the occasions, gifts, apparel and accessories? How come you chose to sell the products that you do?
It's based on my analysis of search volume for different niches. I use Helium 10, which is a professional tool dedicated to Amazon, and then the Google keyword tool to assess what are the keywords that people are searching when it comes to buying online. And I choose the gifts niches because it's evergreen. It's not seasonal, it's not holiday based, but it's evergreen. At every single moment in a year, you always have occasions. You always have occasions to sell things to people. You have the husbands will have birthdays of wives to give the gifts to them. You have the sister, the brothers, the weddings, the anniversaries, graduation gifts. The gift niche is a big one, but I have some sub niche of it also. But the mindset is to have that big focus in mind, and I choose it to focus on my effort because it's evergreen. I sell my product, throughout the year, and in special occasions such as Mother's Day, Father's Day, sales will even, be boosted, and my revenue were really high during those special occasions. Otherwise, since evergreen sales are really stable, my sales are not affected by any seasonal elements. That's why I choose this.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm sort of thinking of your business right now. You have an evergreen niche, which is very good. You're performing very well with the marketing, and business is under 2 years old and it's already making over 35K a month. So that brings me to the question of why you're selling this business at this point.
Honestly speaking, really, let's put it like 100% answer. So 70% of me, I would like to sell it, but there is always 30% of myself that don't want to sell this business because I had to sell this business due to personal reasons, and I just had my twin daughters. So normally, if it was just one daughter, I would not have to buy a bigger house because right now my apartment only have 2 bedrooms and a small one. So it really could not fit all of us. And when the girls grow up, they have to have their own rooms, right? They have their own spaces. So the only reason that I want to sell this business is not because it's not growing or anything. It's got a lot of potential. It's growing very quickly. It have official trademarks, and with the ongoing pandemic situations, e-commerce is having the best, growth like never before. But only due to personal reasons, I need to sell it. This is the only reason I need cash for a bigger house. That's it. And I think with that money, after buying a bigger house, I still have some other money aside to start a new online business.
Yeah, it sounds like you're going on a very different but very exciting journey with family life and stuff. So yeah, good luck with all that. And so we've talked about all the sort of positives of the business. It is a great business. And I was just wondering, is there anything that you tried in terms of growth strategies or anything for this business that didn't work?
Yes, I think I could give you a clear example. When I first came into Amazon business, I was thinking that in order to gain bestseller rank, logically, I would have to have a lot of orders for that particular listing, a particular product. So I was trying tactics of decreasing significantly the price of that product, but it didn't work. Why it didn't work? Because I got a lot of sales, but until a moment I saw that when I did that tactics, somehow I educate the buyers to get used to that price. So later on, when I wanted a good ranking for that product, when I increased the price in order to be profitable, since the buyers are used to the old price and other competitors also lowering the price to match my offers in the whole market, I used to the low price. So it means that my first move was counterproductive. So when I, increased the price of my product in order to be profitable, sales just stagnate and stop completely. People don't want to buy it at that price anymore. That's the first one that I think I was trying to do and didn't work. Second one is the European market. My Amazon accounts available to sales on different countries: Canada, Mexico, United States, France, Germany, Italy, Sweden, Japan, Spain. I was quite exciting to try it out to expand to Europe, but I think personally, I don't think it is a good choice because Amazon is not that big in Europe in compared to Amazon USA. The volume is not that high. Also, the taxes in European countries are quite high. So it's not really profitable for sellers in my niche of gifts product to operate there. Third point is that custom officials in Europe, they are very strict, and sometimes it delays a lot your shipping performance because my suppliers are located in China and USA. So when they ship the merchandise to Europe, for example, I got issues when my shipments come from the US to France. It took like 3 weeks longer than usual to pass all the custom inspections. So I think that's the second thing that I tried but didn't work for my Amazon business. Other than that, I didn't have any other failed tactics to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting from that. If you kept the business, you potentially wouldn't go into other marketplaces and you would think twice about reducing prices for an increase in rankings. But what are the ways that you would try to grow the business if you were to keep it on?
If I have to keep it, there is another market that I really want to expand to, Japan. Right now, the Japanese market is very lucrative and profitable market, but there are not many sellers who operate there because of the language barriers. Even the language in Amazon Japan dashboard, also Japanese, is quite difficult for non-Japanese speakers like me to use the platform. And even it's quite difficult for me to find Japanese speaking staff here to help me on with my business if I choose to operate in a Japanese market. So what is interesting about the Amazon Japanese market? Because surprisingly, Japanese people is shopping in Amazon Japan a lot. I mean, before I don't know that, but after doing some research, I see that Amazon is one of two biggest shopping destinations of Japanese people. Secondly, why in other markets sellers really afraid of competition from the Chinese sellers? Because as you know, China is like the biggest factory of the world right now. The Chinese sellers are oftenly themselves manufacturers. So in a lot of cases, it's really, really difficult to compete directly with them. But for the Japanese market, it's different. Japanese people are not interested in buying Chinese goods. They really don't want to spend money to buying Chinese products because that is particular consuming behaviors of Japanese buyers. So we have less of competitions from Chinese sellers in Japanese markets. That's the first thing that I would do if I have to keep my account expanding to Amazon Japan. Second thing that I will do if I have to keep my account is to convert more of my product from FBM to FBA to reduce the workload for my staff when it comes to customer services and also to have better rebates from my suppliers when I order in bulk. I had to choose FBM over FBA for the recent months because like everybody who sells in Amazon already know, when the pandemic just burst out in USA on March, there were a lot of issues with Amazon FBA and even shut down their warehouse for 1 month. After that, there were a lot of incidents and delays when it comes to UPS and USPS. So it's quite complicated to send merchandise to Amazon warehouse by that time. But moving forward, the situation will be improved, and I will slowly, step by step, convert the majority, if not all, of my FBM business to FBA.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Definitely agree with that. And sort of final question about the business. What do you think are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
The biggest risk of this business is term of service of Amazon because, as I already mentioned, maybe everybody knows about that. Amazon is very strict in terms of enforcing their term of service and their rules of operating for sellers. Amazon protects their buyers really, really good, but they are really, really tough with sellers. They have a lot of metrics in order to determine if you are worthy to be able to sell in their platforms or not. So there is a risk of your account to be suspended by Amazon if you don't comply with all those rules. It's a profitable business, but you do have to put a minimal effort into managing it and at least pay attention to it 15 hours per week, especially when it comes to times like we are living right now with the pandemic. Everything is changing so fast. The logistic is quite unstable for the moment. Price are not really fixed for everything, even if it's online business and it doesn't require 35 40 hours per week, but you do have to have minimal attention to take care of it. Otherwise, suspended by Amazon by not complying with the rules. That's the first things to pay attention on. The second one, the risk for potential buyers, is that Amazon could be dethroned and surpassed by other marketplace, but this is quite unlikely. We have Walmart and ETSY, who are the rising star right now. Shopify is also a risk for Amazon for the next 10 years. I don't see any worthy competitor for Amazon. So it's still a risk of Amazon to lose the inbound traffic to another website, but I think it's just a minor risk.
Okay, yeah, so a lot of the risks come from Amazon, of course, because this is an Amazon business, so that makes a lot of sense. Now, we've discussed about the business. Now I'm interested in talking about the sale of the business. So are you willing to commit to a non-compete?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and how much support are you willing to offer buyers? Are you going for the standard of 30 days of email and Skype support?
Yes, I will be willingly to do so.
Okay, and are you open to negotiating something like an earnout?
Yes, I'm open to negotiate an earnout.
Marvelous. So is there anything else you'd like to share that I might have missed?
With the buyers who would like to give me an offer, which is an equivalent of like 90% cash directly, I could give them, my FBA inventory for free.
Okay, yeah, that's something to consider.
Yeah, if they decided to buy my business immediately, I will give them a beautiful discount.
Yeah, that's a great point for any buyers to consider, and certainly to make your business more valuable. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much for your time, Viet. It's been great talking to you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, everyone, thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 47592. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.